Okay. Uh, in many of the videos, I've already mentioned that the work of a school is teamwork, and there are so many people involved, and so many activities in provided for a good learning experience to the children. So apart from their classroom, there are various other areas which where they move around, where they spend time and all. So let's see one by one how which are these places and how important are they and what are the requisites for these things. To begin with, let's see what's the museum, what is the laboratory, the importance of a maintenance department, and the school library. School library, of course, you all know. So museum is in the progressive schools and in schools in abroad, they give a high weightage for having museums in the school campus itself. So, what's museum? It's a building where the object of historical value was historical, scientific, and artistic interest are kept. So, like I said, and it's almost very important that we give them access to these places, and they are encouraged to gather more information of these kind. And now let's see what are the different kinds of departments that we can have it there. It is art and craft, we can say. Then a museum which has photographs, posters, different teaching aids. Then section on geology. Then they can have home science. Then a department for various statistics and so on. Okay. So the and whatever you set up, there should be a person who is responsible for maintaining it, and only then that will work effectively, and systematic updation and all happens. So that's about the museum. And laboratory, definitely you all know, whenever we talk about labs, the first thing that comes into your mind is about the science lab, which you are all familiar with. These days we have other kinds of labs like language labs, then max lab. So here in this labs, activity related with that happens. Language lab, like a word puzzle, scramble, and like all teaching aids and all what is used for developing that particular subject is all stored in that place. So in general, the word lab is is used for a large room where practical classes are conducted, and a group of students can carry out. And here the emphasis is in laboratory, the students take the lead. The teacher will be a facilitator, and students they learn by doing. And what are the objectives of lab? To develop, so if it's a science lab, to develop the scientific attitudes among children through practical work, to develop the skill in handling apparatus, to provide training through these methods, to develop attributes like cooperation, sociability, self-discipline, etc., to provide real and stable knowledge. So these are the objectives of the laboratory. So this can be applied in all kinds of labs. And an important factor what we have to keep in mind when setting up the lab is number of students at a lab at a particular time. Definitely there should be space allocation per student. Number of teachers, provision, like how many teachers will be available at that particular time. Provision for storage, layout of the lab, such that the regular classes can also be conducted at times of requirement. And also change of venue is always welcome. So some part of the topics and all can be conducted in the lab itself. Then buying the equipments and other things as per the priority list. So these are the things which are to be kept in mind when setting up the lab. And now with regard to science lab, there are some specifications. They need a preparation room, a store room, science room, and a dark room. So that is elaborately given in our reading material. So I don't think I will have to speak much about it. Then all these the regular maintenance of this lab, museum and all is very important. So we cannot ignore the importance of a maintenance department. We can call the school workshop, where the maintenance is carried out systematically. And what happens if there is no maintenance? The lack of maintenance can lead to bottleneck, resulting in the reduced output and a high rate of scrap, which should not happen. Even a table or a chair which is which cannot be used and left unattended, then that means the resource you are not using it effectively. The problem should be the repair work should happen as early as possible, and it should be put into maximum use. And when we are talking about maintenance, we can classify it as 4 kinds of maintenance in general, like capital replacement, breakdown maintenance, plant maintenance, and preventive maintenance. And with capital replacement, that kind of thing happens when you put to use the material to the maximum extent, and once say it stop working, you may throw away. So these days the electronic gadgets and all, when you are when you go to repair, the cost is high, and at such circumstances what we do is, if it has a certain life, and once that period, they have reached that period, you will abandon it, procure a new one. So that can be considered as capital replacement. Then there are some things which we attend only when there is a breakdown. So that is the use of lights, tube lights, safe bulbs and all. That as long as it goes, we use it. When it breaks down, you make a replacement. And there is other things like plant maintenance is the third category, where you do a systematic maintenance at the particular intervals. And then you have the preventive maintenance. Preventive is to avoid it from a breakdown. So these are the different kinds of maintenance that is generally carried out. And here all this are applicable to school also to a certain extent. And these terms are used in factories and all also. It is you have a machinery, you use it for a long period, and once its efficiency, everything get affected, then you replace it. So that and example for plant maintenance in factories and all, to avoid wear and tear and systematic oiling and all that, they keep maintaining it, so that the work is the functions smoothly and there is no interruption. Now let's see the importance of school library. The school library is an essential component of school at all levels, including pre-primary. Both teachers and students need to be motivated and trained to use the library as a resource for learning, for pleasure and for concentration. All intellectual spaces where teacher, children and members of the community can expect to find the means to deepen their knowledge and imagination. That is what we expect from a library. And in library, there are various purposes for while setting up a library, or while you are maintaining a school library, or general public library also. The purpose is same. Here you have the objective of developing the literary, then provide formal education, provide various information, and then give inputs for economic, social and cultural development. And what is the function of a library? The function is to facilitate the instructional programs for the teachers, to provide reading material for students, to teach a skillful use of books for self-education, to develop a reading habit, to stimulate literary appreciation, to provide fruitful social experience. So, with a good library, these are the expectations. And definitely teachers, apart from the teaching material, they require various reference material and all. So the school provides good reference material that will be add on for it. And here in a library, there are various resources, and resources we can classify it as book resources and non-book resources. And in book resources, we can include textbooks, then unit books, booklets, then reference material and non-conventional reference materials. All this comes under the book resources. And non-book resources, pamphlets, newspaper, periodicals, then special documents and publications, audiovisual materials, and all non-reading materials can be considered as non-book resource. Okay, now let's see what are the requisites for a ideal library. You need a good room, good furniture, then a scheme of organization, then good resources. There should be a code of rules, then decorations, and the atmosphere. Here, when I say decorations, the ambience should be such that you would be inviting people to come and sit and have a peaceful reading. And atmosphere, yes, definitely, as you know, a library always maintain very calm and quiet atmosphere, where we keep reminding, like signboards are all there to remain quiet, silence, place and all that. So these are the requests for the library. And apart from that, like here also they have the systematic maintenance work, and for that they should have separate tables and all, apart from that what is provided for the readers, so that even when they are at that particular work, the readers they can have their reading and all happen without any disturbance.